Hey, hi everybody, welcome back to my channel Made with Love. My name is Heather and today I'm going to be making my Leprechaun gnomes. I got the socks, the little beads for their nose, contrasting felt to make their hats, the faux fur to make his beard, and I was looking for orange yarn or orange string and I haven't come across it, so I guess I'll be making her hair out of the white, this is the faux fur yarn for knitting. Now, to save time, because I'm doing these gnomes, I'm making them with the socks and the polyfill. Just to save some time, I've already gone ahead and filled the socks with the polyfill. One pair of socks, but I'm going to lower this down so you can see what I've done. I always make my male gnomes bigger and fatter if I'm using the polyfill. So I'm just stretching it and trying to get a nice long, almost like a long tube here. Because there's the toe for the sock, so you can see how much I've really stretched out this sock for him. So he's going to be really tall. And then for her, this one, so I've got to work on her. She's got some lumps in here, so you got to kind of squish it together and figure out where it's all lumped up. Or maybe I have to add some more polyfill, I'm not sure, but you can see there's the toe, or not the toe, the toe is there, the heel, I keep getting them mixed up. There's the heel of the sock is there, so I've kind of kept her just a little bit above that, whereas for him I went all the way, there's the heel, so I've gone almost up to the top, filled with the polyfill. So he's going to be a lot bigger than her. So I'm just going to keep working on this. I'm just going to set him aside because it's her. I notice she's got some little lumps here. So what I do is just kind of roll it out, almost like you're making, breadsticks or something, or any type of a loaf or something that's when you're rolling up your dough. Just kind of stretch it, just trying to make it, see where it's all lumped up. Just have to push this back down because I don't want to go, for her, I only want to go as high as the heel for her height. So I think that's good. She's a little bit taller than that, that's fine. So I'm just gonna grab the scissors here. I'm just gonna cut it off. Got to push the polyfill down a little bit or I'm going to end up cutting it. I'm just going to cut it right off. I'm just going to use these little of the shamrocks as my guide for where I'm going to cut her. Yeah, see, the polyfill kind of came out, so I'm going to push that back in a little bit. I only wanted her as high to be as tall as up to where the heel would be. Set that aside. And then as for him, I wanted him to be quite a bit taller. So I'm just going to cut right here between. Again, I know some of the polyfill is going to come out as I cut it around here. That's okay. That's going to be too much polyfill, so I'm just going to take that polyfill out. That's still a little too much for me to be able to close it up. I'm just going to set that polyfill aside. I don't know where the container went. I'll just set it there for now. Okay, so there's him and there's her, so there is quite a big difference in their sizes. Just so you can see how much of a difference. You can look at what was left over on the socks. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I guess I'll just do her first. Okay, so I can see I gotta move some of this polyfill out of the heel because I don't want it to be a bulge right there. I'm just gonna move the camera back just a little bit so I've got some extra room here. I'm going to grab my glue gun and the glue sticks. I'm just going to put a little bit of the glue right there. I'm just going to fold the socks over on top of itself. No, I'm not going to give these ones shoes either. So I made the last ones I made. I had made shoes, but then I ended up not using the shoes. So I have sitting beside me 4 pairs of shoes ready for gnomes, but you know, my last one I kind of changed my colors while I was going through. Which happens a lot when you're crafting. You start out with an idea and then, I don't know, your colors just kind of change, or you can't quite find exactly what you wanted, or you thought it would look better and it just doesn't quite work. But okay, so there's her. Now I'm not too worried if it's still kind of a little bulgy up here where the heel is. So I should stand like this. I'm not so worried about that because the hat will go on and cover some of this. Also, after this glue up here dries, I can kind of push the polyfill down a little bit and kind of make her body a little more even, because I can tell it's all, I don't know if you can tell on here, but I can still see it's kind of skinnier here and fatter and skinnier and fatter. So I can just kind of work with this and try to push this down. But I just got to let this glue up here kind of set up. So it's all, the top of the sock is all closed before I start trying to even that out again. I'll set that one aside and I'll grab this one. This one, he's pretty much more even because I went above the heel, so he was pretty straight and even. So now it's the same thing. I just gotta push this polyfill in a little bit more. Just gonna kind of pinch these socks, the tops of the sock together so I can glue it together. If you want to stitch it, I would probably recommend stitching these, but you know, they're just going to be sitting on the shelf for display purposes only, so I'm not too worried. Might have too much polyfill still in. Just going to give the glue a second to dry or cool, and then I think I'll have to pull out another little, pull out some more of the polyfill and try again and see if I can get this to close now. There, that would be easier to close. There. Like I said, I'm not too worried about the hot glue. This is just going to be decoration in my home. They just sit on the shelf, mostly just here in my craft room, where I'm the only one who sees them and looks at them. So, you know, like if I thought, like if my kids were younger, I definitely would stitch these. Something I don't have to worry about too much is my kids getting into things and wrecking things. Globs of hot glue all over my finger. Hard to do the next step. That's one thing I'm gonna have to figure out, is how to use the hot glue without getting yourself covered in it. Okay, I can't do the next step. And some of my nails have really grown, and so then I'm getting the hot glue, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but getting the hot glue on the back of my nail and down into the skin. It really hurts. Okay, so there, I think that's good. So there's, like I said, I'm not too worried right now. I know they also don't have a solid base, so they're not gonna stand up really good right now, but I will deal with that when I got to the next step. So I've got, there's him and here's her. Oh, some of this glue came undone. Glue this back together. Again, I'm not too worried because the hat's going to cover most of that. Just trying to move some of that down there. That worked good. See, once I got it closed and I was able to just move some of this polyfill and stretch it and get it to kind of go down there. Okay. got that done. So now I'm going to make their hats. I'm going to set these aside and let those glue set up. So I'm just going to make their hat. So I've got this one is the light green and I've got one is the dark green. So it kind of goes right with the socks. I don't know if you can tell how close those two colors are. The dark green and the light green. So I'm going to give him the dark green hat. I'm going to give her the light green hat. So to make the hats, I'm just going to take this. I'm just going to peel off the price tag. Peel off the price tag on this one as well. Okay. So I'm just going to take this. I'm just going to find one corner to this corner. It gives me a. I'm just going to fold it down like this and kind of crease it so I kind of know where to put the glue. So I'm going to glue in here all the way to about here because I can see the line over here. I can see my crease line. So I'm just going to glue, oops, just got to turn it this way so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to glue all the way down to about there. And fold this over on itself like that. I'm going to give that a minute to set up. I'm just going to set it to the side, and the same thing with this one. Little bits of things all over my crafting table. Same thing, I'm just going to fold this right here so I can kind of see where it's going to be. So I got this crease line, and it kind of lines up with this other line when it was folded up in the basket. Okay, I'm just going to put the hot glue, a bead of hot glue all the way down. And fold this in half as well. Fold it in and just hold it down for a second. Just going to set that aside. I'm going to take this one back. I've got some glue that leaked through. That's okay because this is actually going to be the inside, because now we're going to just take it and we're going to turn it inside out. Be very careful that you don't pull the glue apart. I'm going to grab my scissors here. Just set my scissors in a blob of hot glue. Okay, just using the point of my scissors just to push this through so I get that. We've got the one hat almost made. Set that aside. I'm going to grab the other one. Same thing. Just push it down and try to pull it hat through. With the point part of the scissors, just slowly, carefully, just try to find the top of them. Like that. So we've got the hats made. Now here's her hat. So I'm just going to see. Let's see. I need to trim. Just going to find the center here. I'm just going to right here. I'm just going to cut all this extra material off. It didn't quite cut straight. I'm a little crooked in one spot right here. Just gonna level that out. And it still did that. I don't know why it's not. Okay. Well, maybe once it's actually on, it will look a little bit better, but to me it looks a little crooked. Okay, so I'm just going to refine. So the heel is the back. I'm just going to angle this up just a little bit so you can see the top. So see, the heel will be the back of her, so that's the front. And the seam goes at the back. We'll put back in like that. It just looks crooked. Just gonna have to that looks a lot straighter now. So there's her hat. And here's him with his hat. Same thing. I'm just gonna take this. I'm just gonna cut the felt straight across here. And then the heel goes to the back, so that's the front of him. Line this up. We'll see how it looks. Oops. Her hat just fell off because it's not glued in place yet, so it's okay. On these ones, it's really hard to see because I'm making them so much taller than my other gnomes I've made. Okay. I don't know if I really like their hats that pointed. I think I might actually, let's see, I want them to curve down. Maybe I'll make their hats kind of, because they're already taller than any of the other gnomes I've ever made, so I don't know if I'm going to keep their hats straight up or have them fold down. Not sure yet. I'm just going to have to fix this because his hat is all crooked. I don't know. I'm having trouble cutting straight today. Or holding the fabric still, something. There. Now we'll see if that works better. If it's there, now it's all more straight. I haven't decided how I want to do their hats yet. But I'm going to grab the faux fur. And I'm going to do his beard. See, this faux fur has one direction that you can tell it goes down in. So if he sits here, this faux fur is not going to go all the way. So you're going to actually see some of his leg part. So his beard's not going to be touching the ground. So that's okay, unless I pull this down. I just want to make him a little shorter and fatter. That's okay. So I'm just going to figure out where I want his beard to go. Let's see, how wide do I need it? I think about here. I'm going to have to pause for 1 second to get my cutting tools. Just 1 second. Okay, I had to get my cutting tools. I was making the gnomes the other day, and I said there's that end finished part that comes from when they make it in the factory. They've got this finished edge, and it's really hard, so I'm not going to do that side. I'm going to use this side, because yesterday when I made the other gnomes, I ended up having to use the scissors to cut some of that off because I couldn't cut through it. So this is the side that I was using yesterday. So I'm just going to remeasure how wide do I think I want his beard. And he's got a wider body. But let's see. The beard's not going to hit the ground, but I think I still might go to about there. I'm just going to grab my rotary cutting tool. And you always cut on the back of these. I'm just going to angle the camera down so you can see what I'm doing cutting out the beard. So, let's see. I just kind of lost where my head right there. There's just one cut straight down and you get a nice clean finished edge. And then I said to make the beard, you know, because their beards aren't straight. They're kind of like tapered a little bit on the sides. So I'm just going to grab my other cutting tool here. Put the lid on that. If I don't put the lid on, I will cut myself. So I'm just going to start in this corner and I'm just going to kind of slowly taper it down, kind of on an angle, kind of, to taper down the sides. This one is not going through. I'll try the other one. If not, I'll have to change. Oh, shoot. Look at that. Let's see, I may have to change the blade, and then this one falls apart on me. Okay, try this again. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's cutting now. See, kind of make it come down, so it's kind of tapered coming down. Got to do the same thing to the other side. I can tell this. I don't have the blade locked into place right. I can tell when I'm doing this. I'll have to get some new cutting tools. There. So there's the beard. Then for this, I'm just going to fold this in half, the right sides together. I'm just checking to make sure everything is all even on, kind of a little more even on both sides. It doesn't quite feel like it. Let's see. Oh, no, it is. Then sit right here in the center. I'm just going to take the scissors. I'm just going to make a little notch, just so I have a little notch as to where the nose will be. Nice with his nose. Set the beads right here. I've just got to make this a little bit wider and a little more rounded. try. See if I can get it. This one. There. Let's see with this side, make it a little wider and rounded. There, just so it will fit around over his nose. So I'm just going to take my little gnome here. I'm just going to figure out where I want his nose to go. I guess maybe I'll put it right there between these two shamrocks. I guess just up here, just the edge of the hat, just between these two shamrocks. Just gonna glue the nose in place. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on the beard, just a little along up here, just on the top. And just kind of, oops, just about drop a hot glue gun on my lap. And this, I'm just gonna get the beard to just come up and around the sides of the nose. Like that. Just gonna pull his hat back down over it. See, he's looking really cute. That. His beard here and his nose and his hat. And I gotta do some embellishments to his hat. Oops. Don't need the hat to be glued quite yet. I'm gonna take the hat off because I'm gonna decide now what am I gonna put around for a trim for him. Let's see. Don't really want the white. I did the white yesterday on these other gnomes I made. Let's see, my ribbon. I'm going to pause for a minute. I'm just going to go grab my bucket of ribbon. Okay, I went through my bucket of ribbon just really quickly and I found this gold trim I really like. So I'm going to put this along the edge of the hat. Trying to figure out how, if I want it to be over the edge or completely on so you can see the green or not. I think I prefer without, because if I try to do it with the green, if I don't cut straight, you'd notice. So that's what I'm going to do. Put a little starter glue right there. Just got to trim this off. A little too much glue to start with. Okay, just got to get this ribbon all kind of untangled. Okay, just gonna put a thin bit of glue. Yeah, because I can see I cut crooked, so I'm also gluing this little ribbon crooked as well. So I'm just gonna, I guess you'll be able to see some of the green in some places. What did I do there? I don't know. Well, craft room is still covered in feathers from the last gnomes I made. There. Big blob of glue. Just okay, so there's my gnome. There's his hat. I'm gonna put his hat on. Still think his hat needs something. I have some bells over here behind me. They were sitting here since Christmas when I was making something else. I don't know what colors or sizes. This is green. I did it in gold, so I'll find a nice. Some of these have glue on them because I had used them on the craft or tried to. So I'm just gonna take his hat off of him. I'm just gonna set the hat here. I'm just gonna find a nice little bell. I'm just gonna, maybe I will just have his hat down. That's what I will do. I'm just gonna, feathers. Put a blob of glue right here. I'm just gonna fold his hat down. I'm just gonna fold his hat down like that. And then I'm just going to stick the glue the bell right there. Put some glue on the bell and put some glue on the hat. Oops. So there's his hat. He's got a nice little gold bell and some little gold rickrack trim. I'm just gonna put his hat on him like that. So I'm just gonna figure out where his hat is gonna sit on his face. So kind of, I'm just gonna put a line of glue just right above the beard and nose, so his hat can just sit right there. I like to secure it kind of right above it so his nose peeks out. And I'm just gonna take it at the back and I'm just gonna put one little blob of glue just on the back of the hat and press that down like that. And so that's him. He's all done. It's kind of cute looking. Let's see, I might just put a little more glue here and just secure this a little more over here. There's him. So I'm going to set him aside. I set him back here beside all the other gnomes I've made. And now here is her. Same thing with her hat. I'm going to figure out what kind of a trim I'm going to use. I'll probably just use the same little bit of gold. Let's see, I do have some other stuff. Let's see. I think, yeah, I'm just going to stick with the same gold trim on her hat as well. I'm cutting out a blob of glue that was stuck inside her hat. Just gotta fix this edge here because this little bit of this gold. It's just fraying now because I kind of cut crooked. Put a little bit of glue just over top of where it frayed. There. Okay, and then because she is smaller with her hat, I still think, which way did I make his hat bend? Made it bend to the left, so I'm going to make her hat bend to the right, and I'm going to give her a bell on her hat too. Put some glue there, fold the hat down. Like that. And I'm just going to find the gold bell. Same thing, I'm going to put some glue on the top of the bell. And some glue at the tip of this pointed part of this hat. Just going to glue the bell onto the hat. Just hold it there for a second. So now there's her hat is done. And find where her nose would go. I guess her nose is going to go. There's her nose. I guess her nose is going to go kind of in the center of this shamrock right here. And put her hat on. So there's, I'm just going to tip this up a little so you can see. So there's her so far with her hat. And my laptop is beside me and it's clicking. Okay. I don't know, it's just, my laptop's beside me and it's just clicking and turning on, and my camera is, well actually my phone is actually plugged into my laptop at the moment charging. Okay. So there's her. Now she needs her hair. So I'm just going to set her back here as well. And I've got to make her hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give her braids. And I hadn't quite decided if I was going to use this, or I also have this nylon rope cord, which I think she's supposed to be, you know, leprechauns. I think the orangey colored hair would look good on her. So I'm going to set my glue gun aside. Just gotta bring her back here because I don't know how long I need her hair to be. So I'm just gonna take her hat off. I'm just gonna measure from like up here at the top down. So she just need to know how long she'd be. So let's see. That's 10 inches. Okay. So I'm gonna make this 10. Maybe I'll do it in 20. I'll braid her hair. I will braid 3 sections of 20. You don't need to see me braiding. Everybody knows how to braid. You know the 3 things. You just flip them, weave them around each other. So I'm gonna braid her hair, and I will come back when I've got it mostly done. Okay, welcome back. Now I've got her hair braided. I didn't have enough of the orange to make her hair completely orange, but I had some of the yellowish gold color, so I got her 2 braids done. Now this is this bungee cord type material, so when you cut it, it frays, so you have to take it with, you know, a little lighter. Just kind of melt the ends a little so it doesn't, so they don't fray. So just got some electrical tape just kind of here holding it down. I had them taped down to my cutting mat so I could braid her hair. So I'm just gonna grab her back here and just measure her and see how long, you know, the braid would be. I made it longer than I needed to, unless I wanted to give her, like, wasn't quite sure how I wanted to put her hair on her. Look how long I want to make her hair, because this will go way down. Let's see if I angle it so you can see. If I were to put it at the top of her head, so you can see how it goes all the way down. But if I put one up here and I put the other one here, she can have like 2 braids on each side like that. I think that looks cute. And then just kind of put her hat back on, and let's just see how that would look with the double braids. But since I'm gonna have to cut this anyways, I'm just trying to play around and see how long do I want her hair to be. Because what I could do that really cute is, like, you know, get her some of the hair just touching the ground, or, you know, just barely touching the floor or wherever she's standing, and then cut some of this off, and then I can give her like a little bit of bangs as well. So I think that's what I'm probably gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. I think right about there. Grab my scissors. Just gonna cut right here. And I'm just gonna grab the lighter quickly so no ends fray. I know they're gonna come undone. That's okay. So I've got the hot glue here, so I'm just gonna quickly grab the hot glue. Just gonna put some glue on here. Glue these together, because these ones here are going to be the ones you won't see, because I'm going to put this on her top of her head right here, like that. Except I just glued it to my hand. Okay, just going to get another glue stick here. I'm just going to reattach this. And this one, the same thing. Just going to figure out where I had cut it. So I cut it about here. I think I'm just going to grab this one. I'm just going to cut this one too. Just going to hold these ends quickly and just do that quickly. And same thing, I'm just going to get some glue on here. Glue these ones together so it doesn't come undone. And glue this to the top of her head up here. So she's got these cute little ponytails, braids that come down to her sides. And then I said it's really cute to add these little bangs too. So, just gonna re-braid these up quickly. place. Just gonna glue that right there. Like I said, when I get her hat on, her hat's gonna cover all this. Just have to braid this one. That's one reason why I'm keeping this electrical tape on the bottom, because I don't want to use the hot glue or it's going to be visible to hold her hair. So I'm going to have to get something to hold this together. I think I'm going to have to get my needle and thread and actually stitch this part of her hair together. Too much glue there. Wasn't holding anything together. There. Put some glue here. Just gonna push this right here. And there's her hair. And then we'll put her hat back on. Just gonna line up where her hat is gonna sit. So she's got like these cute little braids. Just gonna pull her hat on. It's going on crooked. Right there she is. I'll pull these ones coming glue. Pull that one just that way, a little more that way. Just push there. And I might just, when I get the hair on, when I decide where it's going to be, I might just glue some of the hair just in place. Just a little bit so you can see it. I'm just going to put her hat back on. There. I think I'm just going to line up where her hat covers her nose a little. Like that. It's going to look something like that. Again, I think I'm just going to have to go and actually get my thread and actually stitch the, so this is actually that thick, what is it called? I don't know what it's called. It's the cord. It's that nylon rope. That's what it is. So it's a pretty thick nylon rope. So I think I'm going to have to stitch that to keep her hair in place, or find something to cover that. So I'll be back as soon as I figure out what how I'm gonna end her hair. But there's what she looks like, and here's the little male gnome. That's what he looks like. They're gonna look kind of cute on my fireplace mantle together. He was supposed to be taller. I don't know, maybe it's just the angle I've got the camera, but it looks like she actually looks taller at the angle that I'm looking at it. I think because her nose is higher. Yeah, okay. There's my little gnome. So when I figure out how I'm going to finish up her hair, I will be back. Okay, what I decided to do is I just decided to keep the electrical tape on. I just kind of trimmed it so it's a little bit neater, and I just kind of squeezed the tape together. And I found this, so my gold or orange glittery Halloween ribbon. So I'm just gonna hot glue the chunk of the piece of this ribbon over top of the electrical tape to hide it. I think that's just the easiest, and I don't have to take it apart. And I just kind of think it'll just kind of finish it all off. So then she'll get these nice bands of gold, and then I'll probably put something there so it looks like a put a little gem or something on there. I'll see what I have for that. So I'm just trying to find what's the easiest way to finish this off, and I think this is just the easiest way to do this. See, just cover the electrical tape with some glittery ribbon. And then I don't have to get out my thread and needles and try to stitch it. I'm just gonna see. What I was trying to do is just measure, and then I just need to make a couple pieces this size and just glue them on. And I will see what I have for some type of an embellishment to add, so it looks like she's got like ribbon in her hair. And I know it's a little bit different than any other stuff, like her hat's got a different trim and everything, but this will look nice. I'm just gonna see. I think I may have some shamrock little stickers or something. So when I get that done, I will be right back. Okay, so I glued the ribbon on the ends of her ponytails or braids, and I've also glued the braids in place so they won't really move. So next I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly just glue her hat on here. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just above her nose. Just gonna pull that hat down just so it's just right at the top of her nose, right like that. And I'm just gonna find the back, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue at the back here. Just gonna glue the back of her hat on as well. And there we go. There are my finished leprechaun gnomes. I'm gonna put these on my fireplace mantle, and I'll be right back. You can see what they look like. Okay, so there's my leprechaun gnomes sitting on the fireplace mantle. And then there's the other, there's my springtime gnomes. And my leprechaun gnomes. I just want to say, everybody, again, thank you for watching my gnome making tutorials, and thank you for subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, thank you. Bye.